Alright, hey, this is the third, day 3 on the Dead Cells gameplay. As you can see, a new update just came out for the game. So let's see if we can spot a couple of the new stuff. Put it in here. So today, not much has happened. Just chilling. Alright. Ooh. Damn, increasing it by 20. Yeah, we increased the, actually, ooh, but do I want the shield? Yeah, I'm gonna keep the shield. But last time we actually got, to the Black Bridge and actually increased the likelihood of finding plus, S plus plus? No, just plus plus. And, yeah, that 40% in regards to 35% really helped in that first room. It's pretty dope. Other than that, today I haven't done much, just sort of chilling out. Yeah, not much is going on in the world too. I know COVID-19 stuff is happening, but other than ooh, I almost picked that up. Other than that, nothing much has happened. You still do see those protests going on, where you just see the dumbasses. Oh, this is actually a new enemy, huh? What is it, like a rat? Tamer, like a Pied Piper? Another guy? Oh, okay. Ah, shit. Let me just grab this. So, right now I'm looking at, because my main damage output is going to be, alright, so the rats just come for free. They don't have to come with the Pied Piper. Good to know, good to know. Okay, jump down here. So it looks like he just has like a normal axe thing that he just swings around. Fairly simple enemy to deal with. I assume you just keep your range. And it's the third fucking time I've done that. Alright, drop down here. Drop that. Not too hard to parry. Pretty gracious in its damage window. I'm so glad I noticed him before just running up there. Alright, drop down, do that, and just go over here. Sweet. Toxic sewer. Okay, so I'm at 21 kills in a row without taking damage. See a few more, then we're Gucci. Yeah, I like his character design though. Like, he looks pretty dope. Like, what? He has a tiny little shield. I wonder what he uses. Oh, he uses a shield for a shield bash. And so, the first enemy we saw. Okay, that's 30. So I can start playing a little more dangerous. The first enemy we saw was just a simple dude. That's pretty dope. I like him. He looks interesting. I wonder what the other guys are gonna be, because I know they're all themed around beasts and things like that. Looking forward to seeing the new weapons too. Oh, should I buy this and hope I see another? Yeah. So this, if you don't know, allows you to steal. Well, basically just take the blueprint from an enemy that you haven't had the blueprint from yet. Just do that there. So oh, they don't have. Oh, God damn it. Drop. They don't have a blueprint. Or have they changed how the blueprint works? Because I haven't seen on the other enemies that they have a little icon above their head, and everything else doesn't have that icon. So they might have just changed how the thing works. Hold up. Use this to annoy a monster when its health is below. Oh no, huh? Weird. Everybody shout, hey yo, the just got you. Ooh. Nah. I don't want to mess with that right now. So, looks like our down smash has red, our shield has green modifier, and the pyrotechnics have a purple. Oh, they've changed this too. Back to this. Instead of just being any a normal one. All the way up. Alright, anything else? Oh, there's an infinity bow. Oh, the infinity bow actually would be a lot better than the shield. So I'm gonna just nip up to the infinity bow real quick. Oh, that's up here. Yeah. I'm gonna have a very fire-based build. Hopefully I can find something that's that spreads in flammable oil. Alright, I'm gonna go open up the window. It's actually pretty warm. Oh, cool, I'm at dead. Yeah, after I got up, I realized that I wasn't in the safest spot, and that if an enemy decided just to come up and kill me, they could have. But, you know, gambles you gotta take. Well, you don't have to take them, but, you know, gambles you're willing to take. It's the more accurate check. Alright, let's see what's over here. Oh, let's go with the ranged weapons. Back is red, and we're not really going for red right now, so fuck it. Oh wait, I can re-roll. I have enough. Wait, do I? Nah, I don't. I'm not comfortable enough to re-roll. Oh. Let's see. Yeah. Let's trade off for this. Oh, we have one of these up here. I don't really feel like... Ooh. See, that gives a purple modifier. Fuck it. Purple modifier is worth a lot more than that one just dead. What she does, what she does, what she loves. So yeah, so other than that today, all I've done is some work. Played a little bit of Teemo on League of Legends. Oh. Okay. That's gonna be a lot of... Yep. It's gonna be a lot of damage. Played a little bit of Teemo. Teemo, he's fun. I like him mainly because he's just annoying as fuck to deal with. And I just like being a nuisance. Being a nuisance is probably one of my favorite things to do in League of Legends. Oh, I chose the Toxic Sewers. Oh, I thought I chose a Promenade. I don't fucking know. Promenade? I think that's how it's pronounced. Fuck. I didn't know that. God damn. Alright, well. Oh, okay. That. No, you're just above it all. Dodge. Dodge. And then. Oh. Wasn't what I thought it was, and now I've wasted that on a pretty useless item, but hey, you know, cosmetics. Yeah, so what shows have I been watching recently? I've been rewatching SAO, Sword Art Online. You know, watching it with my girlfriend, and it's not a bad show, SAO. It's just not a good show. You know, there's a lot of like tropes that it uses that are just bad. A lot of the writing, and you know, to preface this, I've never written a show. You know, and I've never gone to school for like writing and shit like that. Like it's all just like personal preference, but I just don't like SAO. Like when I like okay, starting out, SAO is a good show, right? Shit. Okay, let me pay attention a little before I die. Okay, go here. Yep. Oh. There we go. So anyway, SAO's it's a good show. You know, it starts off good, starts off solid, but it starts falling off after I think her name's Yui. Yeah, after Yui is introduced, like again, she's a little kid. Well, she's actually a computer programmer. Like, you know, if you've never watched a show, you've had since 2015 to watch it, and you're not gonna watch it. But like, it's just she as a character just is annoying, and that's why I honestly believe that if you go to YouTube and look at SAO Bridge, it is a sort of parody version of Sword Art Online, and it's so much better than the original. It actually has like character, like the characters within it, like just develop interestingly. So it's just I don't know. Yeah, like I know people who actually like really fucking love the show, and I love the show too. You know, it's a good show. It's one of the first real anime I got into. My first anime I ever watched though was like a murder mystery almost. It's called K. Right? It's a mystery drama where you're introduced to this guy who sort of lost his memories and is going through school, and you sort of see how these kings, they're called, they're people with extraterrestrial powers. I don't know. A Nazi found this ancient tomb, I guess. I'm not really too familiar with the lore. In the show, they don't explain how he gets his powers necessarily. They just say like, oh, there was a Nazi, and then after the war, well, during the war they found this tomb. After the war, he went to Japan and just sort of like hung out and like gave a bunch of other people powers. All right, how the fuck am I supposed to clear that? Like that. So yeah, it's a weird show, but like I like it. You know, it's fun. The twist ending is actually like brilliant. Well, it's not like brilliant. Like you're not gonna see it winning Oscars, but it's a clever one. It's clever, and it's a fun show. It's just a fun time. You get to just sit down, watch it, have a laugh. But the characters, the main character is probably like the best part about that, and the Red King. I forget what his thing is, but basically his power is he can let other people have fire. He can like control his power fire. And his character development is just amazing. From like this one-dimensional dude to like this dude who cares very deeply about his entire like family and stuff like that. And it's just, I love it. And it was the first anime I've ever watched. I remember sitting down back like when it first came out. I believe I watched it first on Hulu. So I'm gonna take damage if I'm not careful. We're up 6. Alright, I can start knocking now. But yeah, I remember watching it when it first came out on Hulu, and oh my god, it was quite the show to watch for the first time. You know, just sitting at home, just binge watching the entire thing within like one day. Good show. I've never really like reviewed stuff like this before. So like I don't know what else to say. Like I can sort of go into some like spoilery stuff where actually no, I can talk about so the sound design in it is actually like really good. You know, uh, the music and the scenery around just the ambiance of the place because it's set in Japan, obviously, as almost every anime is, and it's just the sound design of like you can hear the rustle and bustle of like Tokyo. You can hear like every single group, every single king has its own, has their own, what is it called? Like sound, theme music. There you go. Each king has their own theme music that they abide by, and everyone sort of sticks with their own crew. Each king develops in their own interesting way. It's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal, and you can really tell that these kings know about each other and have these interesting dynamics of okay, I control this part of Tokyo, don't fuck with it. You control that part of Tokyo, I'm not gonna go in your area. Just leave my shit alone. And it's just a fun show to just sit down, watch, because you honestly at the beginning don't know if our main character was the guy who did it. It's set up in such a way that you don't know what's going on. And as it progresses, you start seeing, different people start coming in, different things start to make more sense. You understand why the main antagonist for like the first like 2 episodes is doing his thing, but you don't really understand, his master all that well, and how he sort of imbued his takes. And what I still don't understand is, so that guy, right? He has his master. Did he kidnap a kid and like make him his vessel, or did the kid is it his kid? Right? I've always wondered that, and I've never actually I never cared to look, to be honest. It's always just been like, I wonder about that. But it makes him, I don't know what would be more interesting if it's just like a random kid he stole, because he's supposed to be like this very virtuous dude, and he just steals a kid from nowhere and makes him a vessel, or a vassal, or whatever. Does this spread inflammable? Oh, yes. This covers an inflammable. I wasn't paying attention. I was gushing about the new item I found. Woe is me. Alright, but, it's, like, I gotta figure out something else to say other than it's interesting. Okay. I'm not gonna kill him. Okay. Yeah, so if you haven't watched it, I think it's on Crunchyroll. It's 100% on Hulu if you haven't. So I'd say give it a watch. You honestly won't regret it. Why didn't my thing deploy? I didn't even notice. Yeah, so honestly, you won't regret watching the show, because never once is it just like a slow. Well, it is slow. If you're not one for a slow build up and slow execution type thing, then it's not really for you. Well, the final like arc, like the third act, isn't bad. Well, isn't slow. That's the proper way to say it. It isn't slow by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually a very fast paced ending. But it's just phenomenal. Well, I'm actually gonna take this. I'm going to change it so that way it doesn't have takes accelerating damage, but let's see, what are some other shows I can recommend? Adventure Time. Now, Adventure Time, I remember from when I was like a really young kid, right? Like, so it came out like 2008, I think? I don't know. But I just remember coming home from school each day with my sister, and I was just like sitting down and just watching the show. And it's such a good show. like, if you haven't watched Adventure Time, one, I don't know what you're doing, right? Like, it is such a good show, and I assume everyone around you when you were a kid said, "Oh my God, have you seen this new show?" Right? So, if you haven't watched it, go watch it, right? But and I highly doubt anyone watching this hasn't. Oh wait, oh God damn it, I didn't want to go here. But yeah. So if you haven't watched Adventure Time, you need to go watch Adventure Time. It ended. I was about to say just ended. It ended like 2 years ago, 2018, I think. But man, if it wasn't a good ending, like, because they had a full like watch along type thing where I think they played almost every single episode, and I watched the entire day. The entire day, I just sat there and watched everything, and I would do it again because it's just such a good show. The character development, where in the first episode, right, you just think, oh, this is just going to be a normal Farsi adventure title. Oh, he blocks range attacks. Good to know. But yeah, so at first you think, oh, this is going to be one of those normal action shows that kids always watch. But as it slowly progresses throughout the years, you start seeing it mature and its themes, to the point where by the end, you have literally one of the last things to happen is a character, Ice King. His wife sacrifices herself to save her husband, right? And the wife, at the beginning of the series, oh, new enemy. They're dead. Alright, so they don't come in twos all the time. Sometimes come in ones. Okay, so they can block ranged attacks. So I assume this update was to make ranged attacks less, just like an immediate win. Introduce a few characters that counteract that in interesting ways. Cool. So I was at Ice King. So the Ice King, when you first start the series, he's just like a normal dude, right? And his gimmick is he kidnaps princesses. He's like this really old dude who has ice powers. And he just wants to have a queen. And so he kidnaps these princesses. And he has this is a throwaway character, sidekick, in Gunther, right? He calls all of his penguins Gunther, but intriguing. So, why are you running that way? So he has a throwaway character in Gunther, sidekick in Gunther. But as it progresses, you start seeing his relationship with another character grow called Marceline. Marceline's my favorite character from that show, hands down. She is an amazingly well-crafted character. But she starts out just as like an antagonist to Princess Bubblegum and and Jake and Finn, and just how she just grows and develops from like a one-off character to spoilers. Pay attention. Oh yeah, spoilers into into Bubblegum's, romantic love interest, right? So they end up kissing in the final scene, which I have nothing against, right? The show, they couldn't show, it's not because of the gay thing, but they couldn't show, two gay characters because the show was airing in places where being gay was straight illegal. Straight illegal. Was just outright illegal. But, this is better. Because I can do this. Then I can do this. Sell that. Now I have a whip. Let's try this for a little bit. But, anyway. What's good? Oh yeah. So, you know, she was, like, in the areas where being gay is straight up illegal. You know, they have to not really show that outright, but then at like the end, you get like one kiss scene, which I personally didn't like that they kissed, but I understand what they're going for. They want to sort of more cement the fact that they were together instead of just like, oh, I love you type thing, because that could really mean anything. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are together. So, you know, you appreciate it. I assume a lot of the LGBT people in the crowd loved it. Some people I know hated it because I watched a YouTube video from a person who was part of the LGBT community, and they said that they hated it. But I'm pretty sure that was the vocal minority that were saying that. It's sort of like with I know I'm going off on like 20 different tangents, but it's sort of like what happened with Hell's Hotel, was it? I forget what the name of the show was, but it's like a YouTube show that came out 2019, October 2019. I think like the 14th or whatever. It was supposed to be just a pilot to let everyone get their feet wet with the series, and I liked it. But a lot of people thought, oh, their caricature of gay people was really bad because one of the characters on there was just like an angry Hispanic lady who was gay and all this stuff. Like, okay. Like, Hispanic people, they can be mad. I live in a Hispanic community. And one of my favorite memories with them is me and my friends were playing, I think, Yu-Gi-Oh! Out in front of one of my friend's houses. And his grandma runs out and sort of starts like yelling at us to get off her like place. So, but anyway, needless to say, this is all about Marceline. But how Ice King sort of develops with Marceline and her interest in how he becomes a father figure for her because her father is pretty shit. He eats her fries. There you go. He eats her fries, and that sounds like that shouldn't be a big issue, but to her, when you're young, really any memory can become like, if taking something from inside out, a core memory. If your father's stealing your fries, then that can be like a huge thing for a kid, and it was for her. So, I mean, pay attention so I don't die here. I accidentally wasted. Oh, I'm gonna die. Go up here. Heal up. Okay, so this guy doesn't teleport. I just threw it off the fucking edge. Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, cool. I'm gonna just kill these guys. Fuck me, dude. There we go. Oh, shit. It feels so much fucking damage. Jump. Oh my god. I'm gonna lose him right here. Dodge. Alright, you know what? Just die to fire. Jesus Christ. Okay, so I need to get more used to these enemies, and with these enemies, my tactic of always going ranged weapons will not work. These guys are specifically designed to be the counter to that. But you can appreciate, because the creators want to make a harder game, because it's supposed to be like a Dark Souls, a Souls-like game, right? And you can't have that with a bunch of easy, cheesable enemies. Oh my god. Drop down. Over here. Hit that. And that's sweet. I have 109 health. Oh, sounds like a car is going by. Alright, I gotta go rush the boss, and then beat him without taking any damage. I am fucked. Here. Alright, but, I might have to finish this, review of Adventure Tale in the next, episode. Fuck. I'm just trying to beat the level. There we go. So, once you, think about Marceline and her father. There we go. I'm gonna just continue on to the Black Bridge. But Marceline, with having to deal with her father sort of stealing her fries, which, again, her being a small child, it's sort of anything could become a core memory. And just so happened that was what she's stuck with. I'm going to spend them here, myself, because I'm going to die. Oh, wait, should I take a oil grenade? I'll take it. But, so, it's just, the character turns out to be just an extremely fun and enjoyable character that I think a lot of people can sort of identify with. Because, okay, look, not everyone's dad is a, crazy, maniacal dude who wants to steal their fries, right? That's not everyone's dad. That might be some people's dads. And if that is your dad, I'm sorry. But, it's a kid's show at the end of the day. And kids, like a small child, right? That could be the worst thing to ever happen to them. Is their parents stealing their fries. And it's a pretty shit thing to do. If you're a parent stealing your child's fries, you're a pretty shit parent. Don't steal your children's food unless it's like, in a juvenile way, right? If your child's okay with it and you're just like having a laugh, right? Okay, you can do that. But you shouldn't be like straight up just stealing your child's food. Alright, so I can't take a single hit without dying. So, I don't know if what I have is a melee weapon. So, I'm gonna take Dead Inside because it just gives you that extra little bit of health. I am prepared to meet my maker, but it's an interesting sort of thing about her personality, but ultimately that's not what defines her as a person. What defines her as a person is, Alright, I'm gonna pay attention. I almost died there. There we go. Dodge, throw that there. Hit, jump. That type of guy, he's just not his fries and doesn't look at it. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna die. Oh my god! No! Oh my god! That was bullshit. Alright, well, that's what this episode leaves it off on. I'll pick up the Marceline, thread in the next episode. See you guys later.